I'm going to show you how to put loops into a Cabbage Patch Kid's hair. I've got my pin vise with my needle on it, and I'm using this piece of cardboard as a simulation of the head. So the first thing you're going to do is figure out how much of your yarn is going to go into the head to secure it. You want to make sure that the yarn is going to be heavy enough, that enough friction is going to keep it in, but not so heavy that you can't get two pieces of yarn through the hole that you've drilled in the head. Again, you want the drill hole to not be that big, but it still needs to be big enough to get the needle head through it. So you sometimes have to play with finding the right size for everything. So we're going to put the yarn onto the needle, and that was not a successful sample of that. Come on. There we go. So the first one goes all the way in, and you shouldn't see any leftover yarn coming out. You've got your first string in. In order to do the next loop, you have to determine how big your loops are going to be, plus how deep your yarn is going to go. So I've chosen, in this larger example, this length for my yarn to go into my head, because it's going to go in as far as I push it with this. You're probably going to want it shorter if you're actually doing a Cabbage Patch Kid, but this is what I've chosen for the demonstration. So it's the length of the needle plus twice the length of your loop plus the length of the needle again, because the needle is going to go back into your head. So in this case, I'm just going to pick the length of my pin vise. Now, having said that, once you've made that choice and you've determined how long you want your loop to be, I recommend marking on your pin vise with some nail polish or a piece of tape or something where that point is for you, so you don't have to determine it each time, and you'll get the same length of loop every time. If you're planning to change the loops, the length of the loops on your head in any given region, you might want to mark each one off with a different color or something so that you know which one to go to. So I've got it back on again. I've got 4 holes here. I'm going to punch through the second one, and that's the length of my loop. So if I've done this correctly, my next loop should be the same size. So I'm going to take the length of my pin vise, give or take a little bit, of course. Oops. Got it on into the next hole, and they're about the same size. One's a little bit shorter than the other, but they're pretty close. I'm going to do one more. It's on, and in it goes. So they're about the same size. They're not exactly, but neither is human hair. If you've got everything done correctly, the hole sizes are the correct size, the yarn is the correct type, they should not come out easily. In this way, you don't have to worry about the hair being pulled back out. If you have to fight to get a little bit to get your needle into the hole, that's probably best. Yeah. Now, having said that, if you're not securing them in any other fashion, it might not be a good idea to have kids playing with them necessarily, or pulling or yanking on them, but once you have quite a row in, you'll find that they don't come out very easily. I hope this helps.